What is going on, YouTube? I am Germ here, and today we're talking about global preseason power rankings for League of Legends. I think some or all of the leagues are going to be kicking off at some point in the next week. I want to say like the LPL and LCK. I know they usually have crazy schedules where they're playing like weekday games and stuff, but I know that obviously the LEC and LCS both start this weekend or Friday. I don't know if you count that as a weekend or whatever, but all this stuff's kicking off. So preseason power rankings are starting to come out, and rather than just build my own from scratch, when I don't follow the LPL and LCK necessarily super closely, and preseason power rankings are pretty, kind of random and spitbally anyway, I wanted to go over some other people's preseason power rankings. I know that Dot and Upcomer both just posted theirs today. Kind of react to them, give my thoughts and opinions on them, and then by saying what I think about theirs, we'll kind of, in essence, be forming our own, from other people. So this should be interesting. I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions, hopefully get your guys' as well. Definitely drop a like if you do enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Subscribe, save today, and all my latest content. And consider checking out the first link in the description below and the boxes underneath for the new merch we just dropped. That'd be absolutely awesome. It's a great way to help support my content and my channel and get something cool in return. With that being said, let's get right into this. First disclaimer, I think that overall global power rankings are really fun because you can come at it from so many different angles. Everyone has different opinions of like, is the LPL the best league? Is the LCK the best league? How good is the LEC? Are they at the level of those two? Are they slightly below them? Are they way below them? How do you fit in, the best team in the LCS? All this stuff. But overall, I think they're pretty dumb because it's going to sound weird and it's going to sound like I'm a Western fanboy or whatever, but I think for the most part, people underrate the top Western teams. Like, are the top teams in the LPL and LCK consistently, if not almost always, better than the top teams in the LCS and LEC? Absolutely, 100%. And for that to change, the LEC and LCS are going to have to start having way more consistent, results at international tournaments. But with that being said, are the 4th and 5th best teams from the LPL and LCK consistently better than the best LEC team or the best LCS team? Absolutely not. So the fact that people have these top 10 lists with one Western team on them, that is so stupid to me. That makes absolutely no sense. That's just people scared of getting backlash of like LEC lol or LCS lol or whatever. Like, yes, the top 1, 2, 3, sometimes 4 teams from the LPL and LCK can be better than the best LCS or LEC team, especially in a year like last year where overall the LCS and LEC had down years. But this year where we are actually a little bit reloaded and we're actually expected to be a little bit top heavy in the LCS and LEC, you are not going to convince me or many people who, know too much about the game and don't have Eastern bias that the top LCS team or the top LEC team wouldn't beat the 5th or 4th best team in the LPL and LCK. And we've seen that in groups and stuff last year. Like, we had 2 Western teams get out of groups last year, and guess what? They had LPL and LCK teams in their group. So that is the one thing I hate about global power rankings. I think everyone's a little bit soft. We need to have a little bit more faith, but that's just kind of my rant there. But that being said, let's get right into this. We have first up from Dot Esports. We have their list. We'll look at 2 lists. Again, we'll kind of see what we think's better, worse, whatever. At number 10, they have Top Esports. Top's kind of weird. Obviously, a couple years ago, they were like one of the world favorites, to win worlds, whatever. That never really happened. Now, their team has just changed a ton. They weren't that amazing last year. I don't know. 10, I guess, is a reasonable spot. I don't know. I'm not super high on Top coming into this year. 9, Billy Gaming. To me, this seems a little bit maybe low for Billy, but we don't really know, how good Uzi's going to come back and be, how often he's going to be playing, what exactly that's going to mean. They got Doggo too, right? Like, Billy could be a very, very exciting and interesting team. Uzi and Crisp together, I don't know. I don't know if I'd have this team at 9, but there's a lot of good teams this year. So, I definitely think Billy deserves a spot in the top 10. At number 8, they have Vitality. This seems kind of interesting to me because this is the only Western team on the list. And to me, coming into the preseason, I almost want to have Vitality as the 3rd best Western team. I almost want to put Fnatic and TL above them. I get it. Perks just got out of groups last year with Cloud9. I get it. Carzy just got out of groups last year with Mad Lions. He's coming in hot. Alfari almost got out of groups. Obviously, Self-Made supposed to be really, really good. We'll see how good LeBron fits in with this whole team. But, I don't know. Fnatic and TL are both very, very good as well. I like, hey, we got a Western team in the top 10. I think 8 is a reasonable place to start off a team like Vitality. I think you could maybe make an argument for like 7th or 6th. But yeah, to me, Vitality's not the best team in the West coming into the preseason. 7, we have Weibo Gaming. This one I very much question. This is Suning Gaming is now Weibo Gaming. And Suning was not that good last year. I know that Sword Art is returning to the team. I know they have the Shy now. But I don't know if that's just going to turn around. Sword Art just spent a year in the LCS. He had his year off or whatever. And people already were kind of questioning Sword Art even before he left the LPL. Now coming back, I don't know. I don't love Weibo Gaming at 7. LNG at 6. This is a team that people have a lot of different opinions about. I don't hate them at 6. I might have them at like 5th or 4th or something like that. Obviously, they have Duanbe coming in. They have LV Mao coming in as well now. This was a team that was already pretty good last year, and now they have Duanbe coming in. But, FPX kind of flamed out at the end of last year. People have some questions and concerns. And again, not so much I think LNG is bad, but there's just some other really, really good teams. Damwon Gaming, we have at 5. I know a lot of people are very, very skeptical about Damwon coming into the year, saying that they probably just have a worse overall roster and they're not going to be a world title contender this year and everything. But, like, I'm never going to count out Showmaker and Canyon. They are absolutely disgusting. They are so clutch. I think Damwon is going to be moving up the list as the year goes on. RNG with Cryin out and Zhao back in the mid lane. I think they're going to be very, very strong. This is definitely going to be a team to reckon with. I don't have a problem with them at 4. T1 at 3. I think that's fine. Zeus owner, Faker, Gumayusi, Keria. They're going to be a very, very scary team once again. As Gumayusi just continues to level up and level up and level up. Watch out for them. Gen G at 2. This is Chovy with a team around him. They are going to absolutely be scary. I do not have a problem with this. EDG at number 1. I don't know if I love this. I feel like other teams kind of caught up to them. I don't know who I'd have at number 1. I don't know if I'd have Gen G, T1, RNG. I mean, there's a lot of good teams. So I don't have a problem with EDG as 1. But just because they're the defending world champs, I mean, they didn't even have that great of a Worlds. Yes, they won Worlds, but like, they lost, the most games that a world champion's ever won? I don't really think, if I had to pick right now, EDG is not my pick to win the world championship this year. I really want to lean towards Gen G, honestly. So, I don't know. I don't love EDG at number 1. But let's get into upcomers list as well. They have Billy at 10. So, again, a kind of similar place. I don't think this is too bad. It's going to depend how good Uzi is, how often he's able to play, if he's able to stay healthy. But, man, having Uzi back, to me, that makes you better than 10th. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but at number 9, they have Fun plus Phoenix, which is very, very different than the other list. We'll have to see how this team is able to do. They have Gory into the mid lane now. They have Clid. So, I mean, these are some good pickups for the players that they're replacing, but obviously losing, the LPL MVP and Duanbe it's going to be tough to replace. I don't know. I would keep them outside of the top 10 and make them prove it to me first. Both rankings actually have Team Vitality at number 8, and both websites have Vitality as the best team in the West coming in the preseason. Again, I don't really agree with that. They have Damwon at 7. I think this is way, way, way too low. I think Damwon, again, give me Showmaker and Canyon against anybody in the world, and we're finishing higher than 7th. RNG at 6. Again, I think RNG is going to be a very, very solid team this year with Zhao coming back to the mid lane. I think Cryin was a major, major hole for them last year. Top Esports all the way at 5. Man, this is tough for me. This is tough. I mean, the other website had Top Esports at 10, and I was like, I'm not loving Top. I definitely like Top in that 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 range way more than I think I like him at 5. I don't know. It's kind of rough for me. But, the LPL will be a little bit weaker maybe with FPX falling off, so maybe they'll have time to fill in that gap. I don't know. T1 at 4. Already talked about them a little bit. Gen G at 3. That is tough for me. LNG all the way at 2. I get it. Some big pickups. Obviously Duanbe coming in is going to be very, very big, and it'll be interesting to see how they're able to play around him, how they're able to make it work. But, man, I don't know if I'm ready to put them at number 2 right off the bat. And then both websites have EDG at number 1. Again, I get EDG at 1. I think it's fine. But I think both of these lists, I think Fnatic has a case to be made for a top 10 team to start the year. I think Team Liquid has a case to be a top 10 team to start the year. I don't necessarily have Vitality as a top 10 team to start the year, just talking about Western teams. Again, I really love Genji. Chovy with a team around him, I think is going to be so scary, and Genji was already pretty damn good last year. I think T1 is very scary. You know, I think Genji and T1 are a little bit underrated on this list. I think LNG is a little bit overrated. I think Top Esports might be a little bit overrated. I think Edward Gaming might be a little bit overrated. You know, to me, this kind of seems like we might have more of a year of the LCK going on, but it seems like a lot of other people are a little bit higher on the LPL to start the year. But yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting because, again, preseason, no one knows. We haven't seen these teams play. We haven't seen these rosters together, but I'm so excited to get back on the Rift, to start seeing a lot of this. And it's going to be very interesting, you know, to follow how the LPL and LCK is going, but also how the Western super teams are able to perform over the course of the year. Because, again, we obviously do not have the depth of talent of these other leagues, so when we do put our players together on a super team, we need it to work out, because these are our actual chances to stand up. And I do believe we have 3, you know, super teams in the West this year. Some of them will work out, some of them will fail, but the ones that work out, I think, will be top 10 teams in the world this year. So I think people are sleeping on the West a little bit, but, you know, we have to prove it on the Rift first. Obviously, we can't just have those rankings handed to us. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you think about these preseason power rankings. Is there one you like more than the other? What's your kind of hot take or your rankings going into the season? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, save today, and all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.